Hello everyone, my name is Moonshine and I'm the host of today's AMA with TOKENFLEET, a very interesting project, and we have Marcus here from the team. It's a blockchain powered platform that allows you to invest in cars through fractional ownership. So through this AMA, we'll see ways we can earn interest from having this fractional ownership. I would also see how we can gain access to a diverse fleet of cars, how we can earn a share of the rental profits and eventual sale proceeds. So, Marcus, with that, can you kindly introduce yourself, the team behind TOKENFLEET, and the history of TOKENFLEET?
Thank you, Monshine, and thank you everyone for having me here. Well, my name is Marcos Maceo. I am the founder and CEO of TOKENFLEET, and I am thrilled to have this opportunity to share a project that represents more than just a business. This is a vision for how the worlds of crypto and real-world assets can work together in a meaningful way. So let me start with the big picture. When crypto first gained traction, many of us believed that it resolved real-world problems. Decentralized finance, creating global inclusion, and providing transparency in industries that desperately need it. And while crypto has delivered incredible innovation, there is one area that it still struggles, that is connecting with tangible assets that we all understand and value. So at TOKENFLEET, we aim to change that. Our mission is simple: to make it possible for anyone to own a share of luxury cars, earn an income from those cars as they are rented out, and track everything transparently using blockchain technologies. This isn't just about innovation for innovation's sake, like some other projects. It's about providing real-world value to investors, creating income opportunities, and showcasing how crypto can work hand in hand with physical assets. So let's take a step back and look at the challenges that we are solving. Car ownership is a high barrier game. Owning luxury car or high demand vehicles has traditionally been reserved for a selected few due to the enormous upfront cost and ongoing maintenance costs. Even if you have the capital, managing a fleet of vehicles for rental purpose requires expertise, infrastructure, and time. So while crypto has opened up new investment opportunities, many projects lack tangible connections to the real world. Investors are often left dealing with high volatility and speculative assets that don't generate steady and predictable returns. Here, meme coins and things that are related to the explosion of the assets, and that's all. So this creates a gap. People want stable and asset-backed investments, but those are rare in the crypto space. So the car rental industry is ripe for innovation. Especially in markets like Dubai, car rentals are in high demand, but the industry is fragmented and lack modern solutions for transparency, management, and profitability tracking. So this is where TOKENFLEET is stepping. TOKENFLEET is a platform that allows investors to buy fractional ownership in a professional managed fleet of rental vehicles. These vehicles generate income through rentals, and all operations are powered by blockchain for transparency, security, and efficiency. This is how it works. Basically, first, instead of buying an entire vehicle, you purchase a share in the fleet. This dramatically lowers the cost of entry while allowing you to benefit from the rental income generated by this high-demand car. The rental revenue is distributed automatically. Since the rental income is split between the investors and the platform, the investors receive a 70% gross rental income proportional to their investment share, and the remaining 30% is retained by the TOKENFLEET to cover operational costs, maintenance, and platform fees. Once the vehicle is sold, 90% of the net proceeds are distributed to the investors, providing an additional return. Everything on the platform is managed by smart contracts. They handle all from ownership records, transactions, and payouts. This means that you can trust that every rental income and sale distribution is handled fairly and automatically. Through your dashboard, you will have real-time access to your earnings, ownership status, and the fleet performance. Each fleet has a secure deposit fund, which is used to cover unexpected expenses like repair or damages. If the issue arrives, it's covered with this fund. And before the profits are distributed, we ensure to fill up that secure deposit. And that ensures a long-term stability for the investors. This secure deposit is returned back to the investors when the deal ends. Unlike many other blockchain projects, TOKENFLEET provides to every investor with a legally binding investment contract, and this contract clearly outlines your rights, your ownership, and entitlements, giving you the same legal protection you will expect from traditional investment. This combination of blockchain automation and legal security is something very few projects in the blockchain space can provide. So, what investors get in our platform? Our platform is designed to make investment simple, transparent, and rewarding. Here is what you can expect. You can track every aspect of your investment in one place, from rental income to referral rewards and fleet performance metrics. Everything is accessible in real time. So, how that referral system works? Basically, to reward our community, we implemented a 3 to 5% referral system depending on each fleet, which if someone's referred another person and that person invests, you receive 5% of the treasury that should come to us, so that goes to the referrals. That comes every time that the car is rented, once the car is sold, and at the beginning of the investment that we take a small fee of the car. So how is the fleet composition? Our fleet isn't just about random collection of vehicles. It's carefully chosen to balance risk and nice returns. We include from day-to-day cars for steady rentals to mid-range for flexible income and luxury models for high-margin bookings. As part of our commitment for the future, we are exploring the integration of electric and hybrid vehicles into the fleet, aligning with global trends and reducing our environmental footprint. That will include Teslas, BYDs, Hyundais, all of that kind of cars. So why Dubai is the perfect marketplace? Dubai is the ideal launchpad for TOKENFLEET for several reasons. The tourist growth, over 17 million visitors in 2023, and a target of 25 million by 2025. Dubai is one of the world's top tourist destinations, which drives constant rental demand. Dubai has embraced the crypto with open arms, creating a regulatory environment that encourages blockchain innovation, and over 1.1 million of people in UAE already own crypto, and that number is growing rapidly. From high-end cars to premium experience, Dubai is synonymous for luxury. Our carefully managed fleet fits perfectly into this high standard market. So where we are headed? We are standard with luxury car rentals in Dubai, but the vision of TOKENFLEET is much higher. As we prove our model, we will expand into other crypto-friendly regions with strong demand for rental cars and luxury assets. In the future, we plan to tokenize other high-value assets, such as yachts, real estate, or even art. We are developing a secondary marketplace where investors can trade their fleet shares, offering some liquidity and flexibility for investments. We envision a future where investors can participate in key decisions about fleet composition and expansion through the centralized governance mechanism. So, to wrap up, TOKENFLEET is more than just tokenizing cars. It's about creating a new way for people to invest in tangible assets, earn passive income, and trust the process through blockchain transparency and legal protections. This is just this isn't just for crypto enthusiasts or car lovers. It's for anyone who wants to see the potential of blockchain applied to the real world in a way that is meaningful and practical. That's all. Thank you so much for your time. I'm happy to answer any question that you guys have. So get back to you, Munchen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Marcus. I think that was a very, very extensive explanation about what you guys plan to do, and I really, really appreciate that. So, starting with, I think the first question I really want to ask is what criteria does Token Fleet use to select vehicles for its portfolio, and how do you guys ensure that these assets will generate consistent rental demand?
That's a very good question and a very important one. Basically, we have partnerships with several rental car businesses here in Dubai, and we have established our own metrics on which are the cars that are better rented out. And based on that, on those metrics and the cost of those cars in the market, we have established some metrics in the background for us that has give us the better vehicles that we can get profits on top of them, and it's more valuable for our investors. And also we take in considerations not only the rental income that we are going to get from them, we also take in considerations the maintenance cost of those cars, because it's also a very important part of the process, and it's something that we like to keep in very close how to say that, keep it very close in our way of doing the business, since keeping the value of the car is very important either for you as an investor and me as a company. Since at the end of the process, when we sell the car, we need to have the best quality vehicle that we can sell in order to get the better profit for either investors and for us. So, well, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it definitely does. It was actually straight to the point. Now, I know it's normal for some cars to have high demand than the others, but I guess so a point where it's kind of not balanced. So will you guys have maybe some promotional features for other cars that may not really be high in demand, so it doesn't really affect your ecosystem? The kind of the returns on one end would be higher than the returns on some other ends. So do you have any promotional features, or like trying to run some kind of advertisement to increase demand on some certain cars, maybe new cars that may come up, or new model of cars, or sort of thing?
Yeah, I got your point, and based on that is exactly why we are not putting just one car in the platform. Basically, we are putting multiple cars in one fleet, and we have multiple fleets, right? So when you invest in one fleet, that fleet will contain, for example, let's say a Tesla and a Lamborghini, just to one example, two very known cars. Every cars are rented, you will be getting returns back. So we play with that. We play with that arrangement in order to you are always getting returns back, and you have the best proportion regarding some cars. So if one car goes below the price, the other one will supply for that, and we can always play with a little bit with the price to go down and increase the demand, or maybe in high seasons we increase that car and then it covers for the time that is not rented. That's a strategies that we are already taking care with the supervision of other rental car agencies that we are in contact with. So yeah.
So now the 70% that would go back to the investor, is it going back in means of your token, or is it going back in means of normal traditional cryptocurrencies?
There will be no token at the moment for TOKENFLEET. Basically, it will be on USDC, all the payments. Once you invest, you are investing in USDC, and the values that you get from the rental is going to be in USDC as well. and it's going to be managed by the smart contracts. And you go to the platform and you claim your rewards every time that you want. Or if you want to wait, let's say, for 1 month and you take all the rewards for the month, everything will be there in the contract. So it will be on USDC. Stable coins all the way, since we think that it's not valuable at the moment to have a token. Maybe in the future, but for now, for this stage, I think that it's better to keep it on stable coins and more clear for everyone.
Nice. So this leads me to the question about liquidity. So there's an investment period depending on how long these cars will be rented. That is what assures the 70% going back to these investors, which you said is going back in USDC. So now, how does TOKENFLEET facilitate liquidity for investors wishing to exit before the end of the investment period? And what conditions and processes are required for liquidating assets at the end of the investment term?
So basically, every time that you invest, you get.
I think we lost you, Marcos. Are you still there? I can't hear you. Hey, Marcos, are you there? In case you can hear me, I think it's your network connection. Maybe you could try to readjust or leave and rejoin to see if it's start working well. I don't think I can still hear you. I can't hear you. Marcos, can you try leaving and then maybe you rejoin to see if it works?
So,
Yeah, I think I can hear you.
hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. We lost you for a moment. Hi.
Hey guys, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
I
you.
think I
Can you-
lost my connection.
Yeah, you did. Can you hear me now? Hi, are you there? Okay, guys, I think we lost Marcos. Let's give it some few
Hey
minutes.
guys, sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Hi.
About the.
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Hey guys, you can hear me now?
Okay, I think Marcos can hear us. Hi, Marcos, can you hear us? Maybe you can try leaving to rejoin and see if it's better.
Hello guys, you can hear me?
Yeah, hi, Marcos. Can you hear me too? I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes, my apologies. Some technical issues. Sorry, Moonshine. Can you repeat your question? My apologies.
Okay, it's okay. So, I was asking in terms of liquidity, I know there is an investment period for the car rental, for investors to get the 70% from the pool. So I wanted to know, how does TOKENFLEET facilitate liquidity for investors wishing to exit before the end of the investment period, and the conditions or process that are required for liquidating assets at the end of the investment term?
Okay, so well, basically everything is around the cars, right? So when you invest the first time and we fill out the investment, let's say the investment amount that we have for that fleet, purchase that car, those cars, because it can be one or many, all right? Then with those cars, start renting them out. Once any of them is rented out, you automatically get your rewards. That 70% of the rental incomes goes automatically to you, right? That's about the investment process. Once that it's done, let's say that 1 month after your purchase of your tokens and the fleet is already going on, you want to liquidate your position because let's say you need the money, as simple as that. Right now, the tokens are not transferable. But in the future, those tokens will be transferable basically because we are building that in a way that in the future you can create some kind of we are creating some kind of marketplace that you can put your actions, the sale of your tokens that you want to share to sell. Let's say that you don't want to sell 100% of your investment, you want to sell only 50% or 10%, whatever, and then someone goes and bid for your investment, that the investment that you previously have done, right? So that's how we are planning to provide liquidity, but that will not be in the first step. The first step will be merely investment, and after around 6 months, we will release the liquidity marketplace, because at the beginning, makes no sense for us to provide a liquidity market when there are not enough deals for everyone to just exchange, let's say. So that answer your question, Moonshine?
Yeah, it definitely does. I also wanted to know, are there any hidden costs or charges that investors should be aware of, such as maybe performance fees or administrative costs? I just want to know how the fee structure compares to market investments or rental income platforms.
No, exactly everything that we put in the platform will be described as, for example, when we list a car in the platform, we take a fee for the platform that will cover the 4 years or 5 years or 3 years that the car is renting them out with us, right? So that covers a fee that will be for marketing, small maintenance, and that kind of stuff that we cover with that fee. There is also a 10% fee on the purchase price of the car that will be for maintenance, that will be returnable at the end of the investment. It's yours, it's not mine. And there are some small fees that you will have exactly the amount that will be the insurance of that car, and that is not fixed because basically each car has his own insurance, right? And the cost for the GPS registration, that those are fixed amounts that are listed in the platform, and everyone can see exactly what they are investing on. And every time that the car is rented out, you have an invoice that represents the contract, and when that car is returned, you will have another invoice that shows how many kilometers it has. So exactly what we are trying to build here is something that is as transparent as possible for the users, and the users feel like they are really touching the cars, and the cars are for them, are how to say that the cars are on their own, and they are owning exactly what they are seeing exactly every step of the car and how things are working out for each of those cars in those fleets. So we try to keep it as simple as possible, but as transparent as possible as well. So there is not hidden fees or anything. Everything is outlined in the contract that you are signing at the time of the investment, and it's how to say that. It's a legal binding step for you and for me. So I cannot comply with that investments contract. So yeah, there is no hidden fees, just for answer.
Thank you so much for that, because when investors hear that they get to earn 70% out of the 100%, they get curious to know, if there are additional fees they have to pay. And so thank you for clearing that up. Really appreciate. So I saw that you guys have an affiliate system, which is incredible, which is something lovely. So maybe an investor do not actually have to be a part of the rental transaction to earn. They can just keep referring, earning, correct? And also I wanted clarity on this. So if investing this and I have 70% and I refer somebody else who has 70%, and the person, gets to complete all the transaction, the 3 to 5% affiliate reward that I get to earn, is it from the 30% of token, 70%
No,
of
every fee, every reward for the referees comes from our treasury. So that 5% comes from our 30%, and in each fee that we get three main fees. Just to an example, one is at the beginning of when we finalize the fundraising for that fleet. Whatever we get, you get a 5% of that. The referrals get a 5% for that. On the rental income, the 30% that is for us as a company, 5% of it goes directly to your referral. The same at the time of the selling, that we get a 10% that is for us at the end of the period. From that 10%, 5% goes directly to the referrals. So yeah, that's how it works. Oh, also something interesting about that is that everything of that is done on chain. It's not a point system that you don't know how things are working out or anything like that. No, you can go to on chain and track the transactions and see your referrals, and with your referrals you can check how much they have got in the fleets that they have invested on, and then you get from it you will see how much from it goes for you. So yeah, basically that.
Interesting. Thanks for the additional answer. So the next question I have is, so how are you actually going to reach out to these investors? What kind of marketing are you guys actually implementing? Because you're not just trying to, gather a whole mass of audience into TOKENFLEET. You're actually out to target audience who would actually rent these cars and want to be invested in your platform on a long term. And the more they invest into those rental services, the more they tend to maximize their rewards. So how do you intend to reach out to these ones? Are there any partnerships in talks with maybe big car dealers in certain regions or countries, or are you guys planning to partner with certain brand of cars just to initiate these?
Okay, so well, basically we have two business in the same thing. One part is TOKENFLEET, that is what we are presenting here today, and the second part is the rental part of the business. That is the one that is running right now here in Dubai, right? So regarding the first part, which is TOKENFLEET, we are preparing a few partnerships with a few people for once we release the platform, and then we start the marketing push up in order to get more investors in the fleet. And but that hasn't been done. This is my first AMA. Again, thank you so much for having me here. I will be continue in other sessions in other channels, trying to get more people to invest on TOKENFLEET and showcase the project that we are building, and we have put so much effort on it. And basically for the second one, that I think for me is the most important one, because if you invest and you don't see the results, for me it's nothing, because I have a car that is not being rented and you are a mad customer because you are not getting your profits back, right? So I have to fix that problem. In order to fix that problem, we already have partnerships with a few rental companies, and also like around 4 or 5 travel agencies that are constantly coming to getting clients. And each time that they get clients, the partnership with us is that they are going to go over us for the cars that they need and so on. And we are in the process of getting some hotels as well in order to do the same, do another income for that. And the other point is social media, and a lot of the social media stuff that we are going to build is going to be related those cars that we are getting on TOKENFLEET, and you will see those cars, how they are being using for our social media posts and so on. And yeah, that's basically how we are planning to do the social part in order to get investors and renters as well. So yeah.
I see that you guys have a set of time line for what you guys plan to do to achieve these, and I really appreciate that. And we also welcome you here at GOLDDIGGERS for having your first AMA with us, and you guys have something very worthy, like reward assets, and it's something I really commend than the usual memes that other spaces used to have. And I think that is something noteworthy too about GOLDDIGGERS, because we always try to source out these real projects that our investors can invest in on a long term and see actual reward with transparency. So thank you so much, Marcos, for that. So I think the next question I wanted to ask was how does TOKENFLEET ensure compliance with international securities laws, especially concerning tokenized assets?
Okay, that's a very good question. And basically, in the way that we are handling that so far, and may not be the way that we handle that in the future, is that once you connect to our platform, you do a very simple KYC that give us the how to say that give us the tools to create a contract, as I mentioned earlier, between you and me. So once you invest in the platform, you are investing directly on that fleet, and that makes you direct investors. And it doesn't matter if you are using cryptocurrencies or if you are using, let's say, USD or regular currencies. It's basically a contract between one person and a business where you own certain shares of that car, let's say. And with that point, we don't need, we are compliant with this kind of regulations because you are just an investors and we are using blockchain as the highway in order to accomplish that. So we don't need to worry about those parts of the investments. What we are planning to do in the future is to partnership with Barra, which is the legal virtual assets entity here in Dubai, in order to remove that step of the process and allow us to tokenize, like really tokenize these assets. And once you own one share of one vehicle, that share, it doesn't matter where you are, doesn't need a legal contract in order to be mapped to the reality here in Dubai. So yeah, that's the process how it's done.
Nice. Happy to know you guys have also put that into consideration. So in terms of, being in the crypto space and all of that, considering the fact that you guys don't have a token yet. So sorry, you want to say something?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
So we basically cannot ask about your tokenomic structure, but we definitely would want to know if there are any part of what you guys are going to be using the 30% allocated back to the project. Is there any part of it you guys can disclose to the public, or guys prefer to keep it private?
Right now, we don't have a plan to release a token, and who knows in the future? Maybe not. We don't want to include a token in the project unless it's not really needed. If in the future we manage to make the how to say that, if we manage to connect all the dots between the token and the platform and how that can be used and can be really helpful for the users, we prefer to keep it in the way that is currently designed. So you get your rewards as you expect, and we get the profits, and just as any other business, right? But maybe in the future, if we find a way to create a token, of course, people who invest earlier will be rewarded as expected. But that's not something that I can say that it will come in the future.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I'm basically asking about the 30% going back to TOKENFLEET. Okay, it's 100%, 70% goes to the investor, and 30% goes back to TOKENFLEET. So how would that 30% be broken down Is there any percent allocated back to the team? What are you guys basically, how many percent would be used for marketing and all of that?
Okay. I understand better the question now. Sorry. So basically, in regular crypto projects, it works that you have let's say a team, and you don't have physical operations, or you don't have like to deal with the cars, you don't have to deal with the maintenance, you don't have to you just need to focus on marketing and keep up the servers, just to put an example, right? In our case, it's slightly different because we have to keep those things, and we also have to keep up the cars, the marketing, and so on. And that's why it's 30% and it's not 5% or 10%, right? You are investing in a real world scenario where you have to deal with the taxes, you have to deal with the infrastructure, where you have to deal with the business location and all of those kind of stuff, right? So around 50% of that or 80% of that is going to be to maintenance of the fleet and everything of those costs that I just described, and 20% will be distributed in expenses of the business and shareholders and so on of the business. As I say, maybe in the future, if we release the token, that will be changed, and some part of those rewards will be different. But so far, it's more or less the description of what I'm saying. And when I say business expenses, I also include marketing, that is part of the deal. That usually is around 20 to 25% of all the income of the business.
Nice. I really appreciate that answer. Thank you so much. So, I think I would like to get some questions from the audience. So if you have a question, you can kindly raise your hand and I'll unmute you to ask your question. And I had some questions being sent to me in DMs in the comment section. So let me quickly look through it and see the question that we can take. Sorry about that. Just give me a moment. Okay. This one here says, does TOKENFLEET offer secondary market options for reselling ownership to... Okay, you guys don't have a token, so this is not... Okay, this one says, how does TOKENFLEET handle cases where a vehicle underperforms in terms of rental income?
Okay, that's part of the process, and sometimes the investment don't go as expected, and there is not more efforts that we can do. It's not like we can get more marketing for that car, or it's not like we can do magic about it. That happened in every investment, and we can control that in the future. Sadly, some realities that we have to deal in this business, right? So in the case that happened after some period of time and the car is underperforming or is not getting the rewards as expected, we will reach out each of those investors that currently hold that investment, and we will try to get an agreement with those investors, unless we create some kind of governance way in order to, let's say, hey guys, this car specifically is underperforming, let's vote about what to do with this car. If resell it, if get down the price in order to rent it out, but at least get some income from it, or what to do. But so far, the solution will be around either governance or just selling the car because it's not performing well, and the rewards, as mentioned, is going to go to the holders.
Interesting. I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for throwing that in. Another one here says, I just saw that. Okay, how is the market value of each vehicle determined and tokenized?
Quite simple. Every time that we are going to put one car in the platform, that car has, we are going to reach out the dealership, and we are going to lock the price, to look for, first than anything, look for the best price that they can give us. And the more vehicles that we buy in the future, and it will create a relationship with us and the dealerships to get better deals for our investors, right? And we will try to be as sharp as possible in those investments, in those connections with those dealerships, in order to get the better price, right? And basically, for the time of the fundraising, that will be around 30 days to 45 days, depending on the investment size, it will be a locked price with the dealerships, right? So, for example, if we are going to put in the platform a Tesla, and it will be always the same price that is in the Tesla website, or it's going to be lower if we get a better deal with another merchant or something like that. But we are going to try always to get the better deal between the different providers that we could get for our investors. And it's going to be exactly the price that it will be shown, because when we sign the contract and we take the car to the platform, you will have that contract there in the platform. It's something that is there and you can see. And if it doesn't match for some reason, if we get, let's say, a discount of $2,000 in a Lamborghini, just to put an example, those $2,000 are going to be returned directly to the investors. It's not our money, it's the investors' money. So I hope that answers your questions.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you, Shane, for training that question. So I saw another question here. Okay, this one here says, what tools or dashboards are available for investors to monitor financial performance?
Sunshine, could you repeat, please?
Okay, it says, what tools or dashboards are available for investors to monitor financial performance?
Okay, so basically in the dashboard they will have basically two dashboards. One that is for their finance, that every time that they invest something, or their referees, you have some rewards from your referees, you will see that in your profile and how that is performing. And the other one is open for everyone, that you go to the fleet page, and you will see there how the car is performing, the latest rentals, every document regarding that rental, every maintenance and expense that is associated to that rental, and every detail of those cars is going to be separated by car and per fleet. So since the fleet contains multiple cars, you have general details of each fleet, how it's performing, how is the progress so far, how much this car has been rented. All of those metrics are there, and if they are not there right now, when at the time of the release, they will be added in the future according to how investors, what investors want to see. Let's say that in the future you want to see, I don't know, how many specific days in the year this car has been rented, and we are planning to do that, but in the future. Right now, we are showing as much as we can from the basic data that we can get, and in the future, we will try to get as specific as possible with every of those things.
Yeah, interesting. And just to add to that, I feel since there are a lot of calculations that investors want to do, to monitor their financial progress, probably you could also incorporate a calculator in the dashboard, just to make users' experience seamless, so they don't have to go through the to calculate or something.
Exactly. At the time that you are investing, you can see in real time, according to our projection for those fleets. If you are investing 100, just to an example, and the specific projection to that fleet over the time is around 150%, you know that you are going to get $150. You should get $150 according to the projections that we have. And the projections that we show there are not projections based on full rental, either no rental at all. Those projections are based on the metrics that I told you earlier that we get from the different rentals and our own database, that basically has to keep a more or less realistic scenario for those fleets, for those cars on the fleet. So yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, it definitely does. The next question here says, can rental income from vehicles be reinvested automatically into other vehicles?
What do you mean, that if they are reinvested in other vehicles?
Yeah, like immediately the 70%. I think I'm just trying to see where the person's question is coming from. So I think probably he's trying to say once you earn, can you just reinvest immediately into another car
So
without worrying that you have gained?
it's not something that you have to do, but it's something that you can do. You go to the platform and to receive your rewards, and if there is any other open fleet, you can invest on it, and then you can compound your investment over the time. And every time that you're getting rewards, when you add up $100, that is the minimum investment, or per fleet, you can just invest that again, and you will be compounding your returns over the time, which for me is the best strategy that you can get in the future. But there is not such thing as investing in the same fleet, because it doesn't make sense. The point is that you invest in the beginning and then you forget of it and you just come to claim your rewards. That's the whole point of the platform.
Nice, thank you for that. Let me see. Okay, this says who manages the daily operational logistics of the fleet and how. Okay, just the first part is just it. Who manages the daily operational logistics? I think they're just trying to know the kind of customer service base you guys have, how strong it is. Are they native English? Do you have other languages, stuff like that? In case there are issues that they may come across.
Well, we currently have a team here that around 4 people that covers those kind of things. That is customer support to any inquiry about the problems that the users on the road can have. The other part of the team is the one that is doing marketing and so on for those cars, and the other part of the team is the technical team that take care of maintenance of the cars, to drop off and taking the cars back from the customers, signing the contracts, checking that the cars are right, getting to know when the maintenance has to be done, and all of those parts. According to how we increase our fleet, we will be increasing that team in order to supply that we may have. But so far, that's more or less what we have right now. And we are a small team that we are starting, and in the future we expect to grow as much as possible, of course, but it doesn't make sense for us to have 20 people here trying to deal with those things when we can do it in a small team. So that's what we are doing right now.
Yeah, definitely. So let's try to see if we can get more questions. Okay, this one says, what insurance policies are in place for vehicles and who bear cost? It's actually, are you guys actually incorporating insurance?
Yes, every car that can be that is going to be rented here in Dubai has to have insurance. It's by law. So in order to follow that, when we are going to list one car under the company name, in order to be rented out, that car has to have insurance, and each year you have to renew that insurance. Basically, we will get the best insurance that we can get for those cars, because they are going to be rented out. You don't know who the person that is going to drive that car can do with that car. So if something happened, it's better to have some kind of, as the name say, insurance on top of that, and not have some hiccups for something that can be happening in the shadows or on that and so on. So yeah, basically every car has insurance, and is in the first insurance that we have to pay is included on the car, and you will see every detail about that insurance as well once the car is purchased and so on. But after 1 year, we have to renew the GPS and the insurance, and that's done automatically from the secure deposit and so on. And yeah, that's basically how it works.
Yeah, thank you so much for throwing in that question. So I don't know if I think we touched on this, but just to be more specific, a question came in here from Paul that says, "What happens to vehicles that fail to generate sufficient rental activity?" Just to expatiate the question on my end, So these vehicles that fail to generate sufficient rental activities, is that like a blacklist where you guys would just blacklist it so it doesn't come up on the platform anymore, or it's just something that maybe you guys will put in a kind of, let me just use the word extension, and maybe probably in the future, if a new model comes out, you guys can still decide to put it on the platform?
Exactly. That comes on the part of the selection of the vehicle, and it totally depends on the rental markets. Our models is not something that is fixed; it's something that evolves on the time. And every time that we have some hiccups with one car or some other, we are evaluate if it's a problem of something that we are doing, or is a problem from the car, and the market perspective are on this car, right? So we will know if this car in the future will be good or no, and we will list it or no that car again in the platform. So we may have, if Teslas go well for us, we will go. You will see a lot of Teslas in the. If Tesla doesn't go well, you will see no more Teslas than the one that are rented out and so on, are already on the fleets that are currently running. So yeah.
Nice, appreciate that. Are you okay to get one more question before we close down the VC?
As many as you want, Moonshine. My pleasure to answer all of them.
Because we have a lot of questions. Okay, this one here says, I don't know. Okay, it says, what user support tools? I know we've talked about the customer service, but this place says AI-driven insights are available for investors.
We have the belief that AI is a powerful tool, and we will be use it as much as we can. For example, we are that in we are playing a little bit with it with let's say a small chat box where you can talk a little bit with the investment, and first than anything you can ask any question about the platform based on our documentation, and secondly it will help you to understand which cars can perform better or worse depending on it, right? So we will use it as much as we can. Of course, in order to get, as always, in order to get the better return for the investors, and as long as it fits, even if we don't see the value, if any users wants to bring it on and feel that is valuable, we will try to give it a shot and try to get it included in the platform and so on. It doesn't have a direct impact, let's say, on what we are going to put in the platform, but it can be valuable to get some insights on some respectable vehicles and so on. But it's something that is in the study right now. It's not in the implementation side.
Okay, thanks for training that question. Okay, this last one here that I would like to ask, is it, sorry about that. I'm trying to look for it. Okay, it says, how does TOKENFLEET address cross-border regulations for international investors? I think that's very important. I also want to know that.
So basically, the whole point of what we are doing is to give investors opportunities everywhere in the world. For example, I come from Cuba, and it's a third world country in Latin America, and it's very hard to access to any kind of things like this one, right? So I am trying to open this opportunity to everyone everywhere in the world, and it's something that we will be fighting with our hands in order to get it on place. So with the current format that we have, we don't have any issue with the thing that investor, let's say from Africa, from Europe, UAE, anywhere in the world can invest in the way that we are doing it right now with the KYC and the investment contract and so on. So for now, that's not an issue. And according to the lawyers that we have, that we have connected on and so on, we should not have any issue in that matter. So for now, investors everywhere are safe to invest on TOKENFLEET. And since they already have a contract in their hands, or at least in the current process that we will be releasing on, they will be able to use that contract in their home country in order to show that they have an investment in Dubai, just to put an example.
Thank you for touching on that. Okay, let's just get Michael's last question before we wrap up the AMA. Okay, you can ask the question.
Sure. You already asked the question, Moonshine?
Okay, I actually unmuted someone from the audience to ask a question, but it seems he's having some microphone issue. But we have spent time on the AMA, and honestly, it was a very interactive section with you, Marcus. I really enjoyed today's section with you. And that was why I was able to go back and forth with some certain questions, because I was very inquisitive about what you guys plan to offer. I think something I also appreciate about you guys is the fact that you plan to keep it very simple and not try to, have a token, do this. I'm not saying it's bad, but that you guys are very realistic and you know the kind of goals you're trying to reach, and you're just making it very achievable on your end. I just want to say you guys are doing something incredible. But guys, still do your own research. You can always listen to the recording of this AMA as it will be posted on the group. Still dive into their website, join their socials, guys. Follow their updates, ask whatever questions you have. Marco seems like a very open person and someone who would always be willing to answer whatever questions you have. And we hope that in the future, when TOKENFLEET has some very big updates, and sometime in the future when you guys have crossed some milestones, we'll still have you guys back at GOLDDIGGERS again. So before I close the VC, Marcos, I also like to give you some few minutes to give your final statements or something maybe we were not able to touch during the course of the AMA.
Okay, thank you, Moonshine. Well, I wanted to thank you, every one of you guys, for joining today. And well, the future is bright, and we will do everything in our hands to create a platform where users see the transparency on with their own eyes and see how everything works and so on. To be honest, I am kind of tired of how things are being done currently in the blockchain space and in the real world space as well. So I'm trying to build something that connects those worlds and gets the best things of every place, right? So because, for example, in the blockchain space, there is a lot of hype, a lot of FOMO, but there are not that many real things really touch. And in the real world scenario, then there is no transparency at all, or it's very hard to get something done. And we are trying to leverage those things in a way that it's easy for everyone everywhere. And basically, you guys can profit as much as anyone in something that is, well, profitable already in the market. Sorry for the redundancy there. And well, I think that would wrap it all. And I am very happy to be here today. And I hope that in the future you guys can join to TOKENFLEET and join and enjoy the profits that you will get. And even if you don't join us as investors, maybe you can join us referrers, and you can refer to 2,000 users, just one example, and there are some rewards from that. Thank you so much, Moonshine and Khaled, for this space for talk about TOKENFLEET. It's our first time, and hopefully will be the start of many more. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Like I said, don't forget to join your Telegram, follow them on X, other of your socials to get updates about TOKENFLEET, because it's a very great project. And thank you once again, Marcos. Extend my thanks to also your team for building, something nice for investors to be able to look for. See you guys in the Thank you all so much for joining too and for listening in on this AMA. See you guys in the next AMA. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.